Hey, it's Coach Ben from Online Soccer Skills, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to become a better center back. Now, what we're going to share with you today are attributes that all the top players in the world possess, the ones who play center back. So the first thing we're going to talk about is communication and staying organized. Now, as a center back, you're in the position where you can see everything in front of you. You know where the attack is building on the other team, you know where your teammates are, and this is the spot where you should be extremely loud and clear with your teammates, telling them what they're supposed to do. Now, the best center backs out there are always the ones who can communicate clear with their teammates. And if they're 40 yards away, they should be able to hear you. And that's how loud you need to be, because you need to give them direction. And for example, if you're playing center back and your left midfielder is not tracking back on defense, that's in some parts is your fault, because you're not giving them direction. And you should be telling them exactly how to mark up on their defender. That way you're always giving them the information they need to know. Because a lot of times players get caught, they're ball watching, they're not paying attention to the player that they're guarding. So as a center back, you need to be able to give the information and the direction to your teammates, so that way it is extremely organized in the back. And when I go watch games, I often see this with center backs. If they're too quiet, that's when their team gets broken down. That's when they get scored on, because they're not giving any kind of information to their teammates. There's no structure behind how they're playing defense. And this is something that happens, because the center backs are too quiet. They're not willing to yell at their teammates, and they're not giving the information that they need to in order to keep an organized flow on defense. And oftentimes I see this, if there's a quiet center back, the coach is trying to do all of the yelling and organizing from the sideline, and they're not in a position to do that. You are. So if you're the center back, this is your job. You need to organize and be communicating at all times during the game. Now, if you are a youth player, this is something I really want you to get. If you know that you need to communicate and be clear with your teammates, then I want you to be louder. So going into practice and into your games, you're going to get more respect from your teammates if you're loud and you're clear with them. And they're going to pay attention to what you're saying if they can hear you. Another example I'll give is when my right or left back has the ball, if they make runs up the field, I need to be able to communicate and talk with my defenders, because we need to be able to shift and be able to fill in the gaps that they just left. So if my right back dribbles up the line, if I'm playing center back, I need to shift over, and not just me, but the other defenders as well. That way we can stay organized. And if we don't do that, then if our right back loses the ball, then there's no one going to be there to guard the forward on the other team. So as long as we can stay organized, we can always attack out of the back. And that's something that's very key. If you're not organizing and you're not talking to your teammates, especially when players make runs out of the back, that's where you're going to get broken down. All right, the last thing we want to talk about that all center backs have in common is their willingness to win the ball. Now, this could be on a goal kick, a punt, and this could be out of the air or on the ground. The 50-50 challenges should always be the time where you know you're going to win the ball. And especially if you're the last defender, you can't get beat on 50-50 challenges. You have to be able to win the ball. And the thing that separates the best center backs or the best defenders from players who are struggling are the ones that they go into tackles and they go in halfway, or the players that go in 100%. And you need to be the type of player that goes in hard every single time into tackles and know that you're going to win the ball. I don't want you just to think that you're going to win. I want you to know every single time there's a 50-50 challenge, you're going to win it. And what that's going to do is whoever you're playing against, it's always going to be in their head. If you can set the tone, especially at the beginning of the game, know that you're going to win the ball, and you go into a challenge hard, then the player you're playing against is going to be thinking about that the rest of the time, and they're going to go in soft into challenges because they're going to be intimidated by how hard you're going into these challenges. So I want you to think about that, and you want to be smart when you do it. And just because I say you need to win the 50-50 challenges, know that you have to pick and choose when that's going to happen. As always, like, comment, or share this video. And if you're brand new to this channel, make sure and click that subscribe button below. That way you can stay updated with all of our newest videos that we publish. Now, if you want to become an elite player, I want you to click this video right here It's gonna take you to a page, just tell me what position you play, just enter in your email address, and I'm gonna personally send you our highest level skills workout. All right, I'll see you next time.